EA dropped their first official Madden 26 gameplay today, and they went over a multitude of things, and I'm here to briefly go over some of those things that they spoke about. But if you want to check out the full gameplay video for yourself, I will link it in the description so you can check it out for yourself, hear what they had to say when they discussed some of these features and some of the new things they've implemented in Madden 26. First and foremost, they mentioned the other day in an Instagram post, it was a very short video, but they were discussing the new plays that they've added into the game and also the adjustments to motions, the new motion plays they've added to the game, where now you can have more than one player going in motion on the same play at the same time, basically to replicate how certain teams use certain players like Deebo Samuel with the Commanders or formerly of the 49ers, things of that nature. They mentioned how there's now 2,000 plays or more than 2,000 plays in the game at launch, and it's more than triple what it was a few years ago, and how they will be adding more plays after launch. So that's going to be huge. It's going to be a bigger repertoire of plays in each playbook for every user to use when they're playing in Madden 26. They also mentioned stunts, and they spoke about how you could use stunts. The guy was trying to tell Aaron Jones how he can use stunts, and it's pretty much the exact same way that you use stunts in College Football 26. I did a video for that. I'm probably going to do a video again once Madden comes out for anybody who doesn't see this video and just so happens to be searching how to perform stunts in Madden. But it's simple. Whichever play you decide to choose, you press and hold down that icon for that specific play. And if you have 4 down linemen, you're going to have a lot more different stunts you can perform with 4 down linemen than you would if you had 3 down linemen. Now, if you forget to try to access these stunts at the play selection menu, you can always pull it up post play selection by going to your defensive line adjustments, and it'll have a menu pop up for you to perform stunts or select your stunts, what kind of stunts you want to perform for that play. They also brought up how coaching suggestions, as we've mentioned before in several videos or videos that I've put out and many others have put out, on how coaching suggestions go specifically based off of the real life coaches now. But there is a caveat to it. If you get in certain situations where it just doesn't call for the certain suggestions that the coach would do in real life, it will go based off of whatever that situation would call for in a game that the CPU would determine would be best fit for you to choose for that play. They also go in depth about the safety depth in coaching adjustments, the cause and effect of adjusting versus not adjusting, how it can benefit you versus how it won't benefit you. If you don't have your safety position far enough over to the right side of the field, it might leave you open for whoever your opponent is to throw a one-play bomb on you. If you do make your adjustment, it might just come in a clutch and you might just get an interception off of that play. They also talk about wear and tear, which is something we mentioned before on how now they've brought it in the game. It was in college football and it wasn't in Madden, but now they've implemented it in Madden. They also spoke about how you have to manage your player. You have to be aware of if you're using that player too much, you might want to give him a breather and sub him out, because if you leave him in, he'll be more susceptible to get hurt. And also, it will bring his ratings down the more his health deteriorates. So you got to be mindful of the wear and tear, unless you're one of those individuals that just aren't interested in wear and tear and choose you want to take it off. There's new DB knockout animations that look more realistic than ever. And I'm talking about, like, in prior years, there'll be DB knockouts. It'll be like right when the two players hit midair and then a ball might pop out. But now it looks more like the player is reeling in the catch, like he has a catch in his grasp. And then you'll see the DB reach through and punch the ball out. I thought that was extremely dope. I look forward to seeing what more of those animations they have implemented into the game, because what they showed, what they visualized in this gameplay video had me pretty excited. I could see it having me pissed off too while I'm playing. I'm thinking I got a catch in my grasp, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, the DB just punches the ball out. I'll probably be punching the air. They start highlighting the intros and the presentation, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, the presentation is immaculate. It's pristine. It's like none other Madden that we've had thus far before. The main one that they highlighted, well, there was two, but the first one they highlighted was the Philadelphia Eagles intro. Although I dislike the Eagles, I can say the introduction was pretty dope. They had Lil Uzi Vert, Just Wanna Rock playing for the intro. They're coming out. The light show is crazy. It kind of gives you chills. I'm not even gonna lie to you, straight up. It's a great quality update to the game that makes you feel more immersed. One thing I can say that I know they probably didn't do this year, but I wish sometime over time down the line they implement where you can actually see these intros when you're playing in an online league. Because if you're playing in an online league, you're robbed of this experience because all it does is jump straight into the game, jump straight into kickoff. You never see any of these intros. Maybe down the line, they'll make this available for you to be able to see when you're playing an online head-to-head game. And if it's too much, if they feel like it's something where people might not want to see or they feel like it's a waste of time, just give the users an option to skip it. But I feel like this should be something that is portrayed for online head-to-head games as well, so we can get that full experience for those who don't play offline leagues, for those who play online leagues and play a bunch of users. They also demonstrated snow gameplay and the effects that it has on the players. There's a lot of slippage going on in these snow games, but they did point out and highlight that change of direction rating has a key impact on these snow games. If a player has a high change of direction rating, they're not going to be likely to slip like that. At least not like that. They won't slip much at all, really. But if they don't have a high change of direction rating and you're trying to get sticky with them, then you're going to be slipping left and right. You're trying to spin, you're going to slip. If you're trying to juke, you're going to slip. If you're trying to use the cut stick, you're going to slip. You got to be mindful of that when you're playing in these snow games. If your players' change of direction rating is not high, don't try to get sticky because it will end up bad for you. Another thing in the snow gameplay that was visualized, in prior years, when you're in the last seconds of the game's on the line, whatever it may be, and you try to kick a field goal and your opponent calls timeout. Everybody knows that when it comes back, it zooms in super close on a field goal kicker. It makes it hard for you to kind of see and adjust to where you're kicking the field goal from. And when you pick the accuracy and you go to press A or X on PlayStation, for the power, the whole meter would disappear, making it harder for you to adjust and be able to kick that field goal. Now, that's still there, but the only difference is during a snow game, it ices out that accuracy meter, so you can't really see. You got an idea in your head because you know what the accuracy meter looks like, what's red, what's yellow, what's green, etc. Now the whole thing is iced out. You can't see what color you're landing in, things of that nature, and the meter still disappears, and it makes it a lot harder than it normally is. So those are some key things, key factors about the new dynamic weather in Madden NFL 26. They also talk about and highlight the truck stick mechanic and how it has changed this year. In prior years in Madden, the truck stick, you would flick the right stick up, you could flick and hold, and it would truck. Everything would be all good. Now it's not like that. Now, if you want to truck, you have to simply flick the right stick and let it go. And you have to time it right or else you won't get a good truck. But the reason behind that is that if you flick and hold, you might put yourself in a position where you could turn the ball over, because when you flick and hold the right stick, that is now the new reach for it mechanic. So you might think that you're going to truck somebody and you flick and hold that right stick up, and they're actually going to try to attempt to reach for more yards. And if you weren't planning on doing that and you're going into a crowd or running into two defenders, you might just fumble that ball. So you got to be aware when you're using the truck stick or trying to use the truck stick this year in Madden, that it is simply flick the right stick up and not flick and hold the right stick. Flick and hold the right stick is for the new reach for it mechanic. And another thing they spoke about was the new player movement and how much faster it is. Not too fast, not too arcadey, but it's faster than what Madden has been since it's been on next-gen consoles, which is now current-gen consoles. They kind of slowed the game down to make it more true to life, more realistic, but a lot of fans have complained over the years, especially after College Football 25 came out and it was a much faster game than Madden. People kept talking about how the experience with College Football 25 was much greater than the experience with Madden because the player movement was much more fast, much more smoother. Well, now they've implemented that in Madden 26. It's not as fast as college football, but it's definitely faster than prior Maddens, and you'll see and get a feel for that. They also spoke about a multitude of other things, but I'm not gonna delve into that because this video would be too long. I'll leave the link in the description box so you guys can take a look for yourself. But now, if you're here for the first time or you're returning and you haven't liked or subscribed already, please do so. Click that notification tab so you can stay up to speed with more Madden NFL 26 content going forward. Tips, tricks, updates, tutorials, etc. We'll have that here. Again, I appreciate you all for tuning in. That's been my time. Till next time.